Welcome to the Manny Perez Show, the show that covers, works on, and solves our community's issues. Yes, we can with the Manny Perez Show. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Manny Perez Show. I'm Manny Manuel Perez, your Queens Democratic leader, community leader, and yes, entrepreneur devoted to helping people create better future and better income and better solutions in their lives. Today, we're going to be talking about solutions, and it's going to be fun. And with us is our friend and journalist, Gabriela Ascanio, who is with us again. And she's been involved in a project, but right now we're happy to have her with us. And with us is also Julio Camacho, our production engineer. So to get started, Gabriela, the microphone is yours.
Thank you, Manny. So, hi, everybody. I'm going to start with the news. And as I always say, we try to get good news every day. But unfortunately, most of the stuff I see on the internet are bad. So, and that's what it sells because when you're looking through the news, that title, that word that impact you, that's the one you're going to look, that's the one you're going to read. So most of them are going to be bad because that's what it sells. So I saw that we've been having a lot of shootings, and this is not something new. This is something that's been happening from a long time. So we have to get a solution for guns. A lot of people been carrying guns, and they should have not been carrying them. I'm not. I'm not saying that you should banish every gun because either way some people are going to get it. But if you're going to hand a gun to
But,
somebody, you have to
but if
get
you have a gun, you're a criminal, unless
yeah.
you've got a license.
No,
That's
I
simple.
mean, if you have to get a license to somebody,
Yep.
you have to get a really big background check. You have to have somebody analyze if you're qualified to have that in your
Yep.
possession. Because not everybody should be allowed to have a gun. Not
Yep.
everybody has the mental stability to carry a gun. So
Yep.
I saw a few days ago some guy that was very angry because somebody caught it on the street with his car, and he stepped out of his car with a gun in his hand. He was screaming and shouting, and that's all you need to ruin your life, because somebody might be dead at the end, and you might ruin your life because you're going to jail. You might get away because some people do bad stuff and then they run away for a few days, but they eventually will catch you. So um,
Yep.
it's not a good news to spend the rest of your life on behind bars. So you have to be very careful with what you do. And there's something really a big news right now. There's a 10-year-old kid that was murdered due to a shooting, and yeah, somebody got caught right now. There's suspects being interrogated, and by the end of the day, that person might be behind bars, but that's not going to give the child back to his family. So that is tragic news, and we're living with it right now. Every day, every single day, you see on the news that somebody died because another person that had nothing to do with the deceased one uh, was carrying a gun and maybe fighting with
Yep.
somebody else and shoot at the air, and that bullet went through the walls of their apartment, and then they died while
Yep.
they were sleeping. I mean,
And,
that's
and and forgive me for interrupting, Gabriela, but I want everybody to understand. Some people actually think that having a gun is a solution. It's not. Having a gun is not a solution. It's a tool that the police use, that the military use, that some security guards use. I understand it's a tool. It's not a solution.
Yeah, and some people say that that's but those words were written before an automatic gun was around. Now you have machinery that can shoot like 100 bullets per minute. I don't know. That was way before that sort of stuff.
But but the thing is, the right to bear arms has its setting, has its definition. New York City has passed laws because our apartments have, come on, it's plaster walls. A bullet can go through very easily. So understand, a gun of any type, and most especially, as you mentioned, are automatic weapons that can shoot hundreds of rounds in a minute. Those are not solutions. We are not in a war zone. And even in a war zone, having a weapon makes you a target. So please understand, when we're talking about solutions, we're talking about something that helps everyone because solutions must be for everyone. We have to work together. It's not just one person making a law, and politicians say, no, we'll pass a law. Hello, criminals do not follow the law. Let's start with that one. A law is not the perfect solution. Laws are good when everybody follows them. 3 years ago, our crime was low before the pandemic. We were doing pretty well as a city. And now, as Gabriela points out, it looks like in the news that it's getting worse every day. Why? Because some people, they're using guns. Some people are driving irresponsibly. I mean, some people are full of hate. Hate crimes are up. And understand, please. I can understand somebody being angry, somebody being frustrated, or all this. But the solution is not to go and shoot someone or hurt them or run them down. I mean, it, it's not what helps us, and we've got to think our way through and find solutions. Find solutions that help everyone. Yeah? It's as if I've decided that I'm going to solve Gabriela's problems and start telling her what to do.
Mhm.
Gabriela's not going to like that. She is a very intelligent person, besides the fact of being a very intelligent woman. I am not a woman. I can't decide for her because I'm not a woman. I can decide for me. Why? Because your right to do whatever you want to ends right when it comes in contact with my right. By the way, some people say at the tip of my nose. Because you might have the right to punch someone, but not can't punch me. I have the right not to be punched. That's where people get confused. Because our solutions have to work for everyone. And right now, we get carried away sometimes with the topics. Right now we have a housing problem. Housing problem is huge. Gabriela was researching it. And it's huge. We're going to have a lot of people undergoing eviction process. Why? Because the law that forbids evictions, it wasn't a real solution. It was a solution for the moment. But everybody thought that it was only going to last 2, 3 months. The pandemic lasted over a year. And right now, everybody's thinking of how are we going to solve the problem? Because if you are one of the persons that is holding off on the eviction process, that means that you don't know what's going to happen in a few weeks. So the housing issue really needs solutions. There are many people and their families that can end up out in the streets. And we mustn't forget the city does not have enough shelters. The city's been doing so many things to try to get the homeless, the mentally ill, and the people that have suffered from fires in their buildings and such. The city's tried to put them in hotels. That has created problems. And as the pandemic is resumed, those hotels will want to go back to business as usual. We have a big problem for this city. And the politicians will say that they're going to pass laws. It's not just laws. We need housing units, and we need to help the people be able to find affordable housing. Right now, we actually have a limit on affordable housing because many owners of units, be they legal or not, don't want to rent them out right now because they were burnt. They weren't paid. And some people say, oh no, the city will end up paying for everything. I'm not too sure. For the mom and pop that rents a room or something like that, I'm not too sure. Because the laws often protect the people that have more money. And that's part of what you have to think about. Because we need solutions that work for everyone. Everyone. So, we're going to take a break now, and we'll be right back, and we'll continue talking about other situations that require solutions. And you can always contact us at the Manny Perez Show. You can always talk to me, Manny Manuel Perez, and our journalist, Gabriel Ascanio, who just is having technical issues right now. So we'll be right back. Thank you. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Manny Perez Show. I'm Manny Manuel Perez, your Queens community leader, democratic leader, entrepreneur dedicated to helping businesses and individuals succeed, and a person who's always working with my community because I understand that solutions require the community's support. And today we're talking about solutions. And why are solutions so important? Well, because we are not only having some huge problems in New York City, but we're also facing an election. And we've got all sorts of promises all over the place. People promising different things, and they're promising solutions. But sometimes I'm not too sure about the solutions they're proposing because if you're a lawyer, you're always proposing legal solutions. Yes, everybody's interested in getting business for themselves. Me, I might propose that for a solution, and yes, it can work, is to give you the consulting services and coaching services that will help you be successful. Politicians usually talk about making laws or making decisions. That might work. Some people like that. And what I do know is that all those laws require to be enforced. And usually people forget that criminals do not follow the law. So if you're having a problem with crime, just making a new law does not help you stop the criminals. You need to have enforcement. You need to have other things, and you need to have the community working with you. We mentioned earlier gun violence. Gun violence is a problem. And the worst part is that if I have a neighbor with a gun, I'm not supposed to talk to that neighbor. I'm not supposed to tell him, listen, get rid of the gun. Why? Because I might get shot. It's very dangerous. My neighbor might be mistaken thinking that the gun is a solution, but I've got to find another way to solve the problem because I can't do it by myself. It requires a community, it requires different organizations. Mental health is another problem. New York City reduced the budget, slashed it for mental health services. Right now, we're having the problem of people with mental health issues being put together with criminals, which creates other sorts of problems. We have right now the problem of the education for our children. We had a kind of solution with distance learning, but now we're going to be having kids back in school in September. And we have to prepare for that. And we have to make sure that the solution helps everyone. Another area is jobs. Now, a lot of people think that their problem is they don't have a job. I want to tell them something. I want to tell you all. The problem is income. You need income. You need money. A job is a source of income, yes. But some people might decide to get involved in their own business. That's one way. There are many businesses. Immigrants, especially, they discover quickly how they can get income because they don't have access to many public services. Even though New York City does have a lot of services for migrants, for people who just arrived in the city, because yes, we do have people who come to the city from other places in the US. That's part of the history of New York City. We have different types of problems and we need solutions. But the solutions have to involve the community. And we have to find ways to avoid having the few that create problems mess it up for everybody else. I mean, I I live on an open street, 34th Avenue in Jackson Heights. And in general, it's wonderful. But even though the open street is there for people, for bicycles, for scooters, for everything, I almost got run over by a scooter on the sidewalk. The guy almost knocked me over. And I shouted, you're not supposed to be on the sidewalk. And he shouted back at me. I didn't understand what he said because he was just zipping away. That scooter is creating a problem for everyone. There are people who sell food and don't clean up after themselves. There are people who buy food and they don't care about littering in the street. Guys, that's our open street. The city cleans up once, maybe twice a week. It's up to the community to keep the street clean, healthy, and safe. That means we all have to work together. Remember, everybody. That's the best kind of solution. Because otherwise, you're having somebody make decisions for you. How much time do I have left, Gabriela?
4 minutes.
Okay. So, Gabriela, quickly, what's going on with the solutions for our baseball games? Because that's another important one for us.
Yeah, so thankfully we have baseball again. I mean, we did had it yes last year, but we didn't have any fans over at the stadium due to the pandemic. So right now we are having people going to the stadiums to watch and enjoy the baseball game. And one of the solutions that they provided is to become a big vaccination site. Can you hear me?
And no, I lost you. If I understand and if I remember, you're saying that we had one section for vaccinated people and sections for non-vaccinated people.
Yeah,
And that's
we
the
had,
solution they found right
and
now.
stadium became a big vaccination site. So everyone that wanted to get the vaccine could have come to go to the stadium and get it. So we
Yeah.
did have, I did um, two two different areas, one for vaccinated people and the other one for non-vaccinated. Obviously, the best way to go is with the vaccinated side, but own opinions, they can make their own for their body. So I'm not judging. Um, but what I saw is that in the vaccination site, everybody was practicing social distancing. You can see a lot of chairs were like tied up to the to so nobody can sat on them, and you can see people wearing their mask and applying hand sanitizer. On the other hand, you can see on the non-vaccinated side, everybody was near to each other. Nobody was wearing a mask, and I thought that was something we already got rid of on the last over the last year. I saw in the news that due to the quarantining help, some viruses to go away, some flu viruses. So
Yep.
that's a big news, because that means that it did uh, it was something positive to quarantine and to have social distancing, because we can see the results. A lot of people, and especially with vaccination right now, a lot of people. Nobody has died on a long time. You still can catch the virus, but small. There's
Yep.
almost none, it's not almost not possible for you to become really uh
To become
really bad.
very ill.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. It's the
um,
vaccine help.
and there's a debate, because now the I'm gonna talk about the stadiums here in the city. They're trying to motivate people to get vaccinated. So if you go to the stadium and you haven't got the vaccine, and if you're willing to take it there, you might get like a free seat, a free ticket, or you may win some money. And debate is because people are saying, "What about me? I did get the vaccine on time. Um, I was willing to take the risk, and what am I getting?" So the thing you're getting, your price. That a lot of people get vaccinated, and we get rid of the virus once and for all, and that's your
Yep.
price. Price is to be safe, for you to be safe, and for your family to be safe, and for everything go back to normal. And that's it. They're being playing a huge part. The community. There's still people that say, "Oh, I'm not gonna get it. I am willing to pay the
Oh,
price of the tickets. I don't care." Okay, uh, go ahead, but you have to take the vaccine. It's the best way to be safe right now.
I, I I know that people have different beliefs, and I respect it. Some people don't want to get vaccinated, and they don't want to get vaccinated. They find whatever excuse. And the crazy thing is, they don't want anybody else to be vaccinated if they can help it, because they just want no vaccines. And I want to be safe. I do want everybody that can get a vaccine to get it. And I might respect some people, but I know that the Philippines right now is, and you might say, what does the Philippines have to do with it? Well, the Philippines had gotten rid of polio. They stopped vaccinating people. They got polio again and which was it's very dangerous for children. It can kill the children, or it can leave them severely handicapped. Well, they finally got the vaccinations under control again, and thanks also to the pandemic controls, they managed to get rid of vaccine the polio again, and they're going to continue with the vaccinations. Well, the same thing with the COVID. We've got to get rid of the illness, and the only ways we know how are vaccinations, face masks, and hand sanitizers, and social distancing. I'm sorry. Now, I know that human beings have maintained many illnesses alive in this world simply because people don't get their vaccinations for whatever reason. Sometimes it's It's a distant tribe which, for religious reasons, decides not to do vaccinations. But the illness survives in that area. Guys, solutions, solutions. We need solutions. They're not easy. When somebody tells you they're going to solve a problem like that, I'm sorry. Very few problems are solved that easily. We need to work together as a community. We need to find true solutions that work for everybody, not solutions that work for a small part of our community, not solutions that help the criminals instead of helping anybody else, not solutions that help corrupt people. No, we want solutions that help everyone. And I've run out of time. I want to thank you all for being with us. I want to remind you that we do have another program coming up next Monday, 7 p.m. And this is the Manny Perez Show. And I'm Manny Manuel Perez, your Queen's leader. And yes, I'm a person who is dedicated to finding solutions. This program was just pointing out that it isn't that easy. We have to think, we have to listen. And I want to thank our journalist, Gabriela Ascanio, for being with us, and Julio in America TV Productions for helping us out. So, everyone, we'll see you next week, and thank you very much. Thank you for joining us on the Manny Perez Show, the show that covers, works on, and solves our community's issues. Yes, we can. The Manny Perez Show.